I'll be talking to you about the differences in classroom settings between a mainstream classroom and a residential school for a deaf student. First, I'll talk about the mainstream classroom setting for deaf students. Research has found that a student's ability to learn and academic performance are negatively affected when the teacher's ability to verbally communicate is blocked or muddled by overwhelming background noises. It is crucial for students to hear what the instructor is saying in order for effective learning to take place. Therefore, since we cannot do anything to speed up the development of children's auditory abilities, nor reduce the number of at-risk students, it is abundantly clear that we must do something to either improve or compensate for the poor acoustics. Many deaf students who will be integrated into a regular classroom have some residual hearing and also some language and speech capabilities. To make use of these skills, the classroom setup should be designed favorably for the deaf student or students in the class to create a listening environment. Thus, the mainstream classroom is mainly focused on improving the hearing environment of the classroom. Mainstream teachers will encourage the use of amplification technologies such as hearing aids. Also, mainstream teachers will have deaf students sitting near the teacher so they are able to hear the instructions better. If a student has better hearing in one ear or the other, angle her work desk so that her better ear is closer to the teacher. Background noise can cause problems with hearing aids, so aim to minimize noise in the classroom. You can do this by seating deaf students away from noisy implements such as an air conditioning unit, windows, road noise, and hall noise. You should also talk to the students about noise and demonstrate how it can be difficult to hear when other students are talking at the same time. As a teacher, you could do this by separating the class into two sections and letting one section to talk and then the other section to stay quiet and listen to the teacher say some instructions. They will understand that the noise level really affects their ability to hear in the classroom. For group work, avoid dividing the class into groups where one group is listening to audio-visual equipment, such as the TV, and the other group is listening to the teacher. It just wouldn't work. When visitors come to the classroom, remind them that they should not be talking when the teacher is talking. The physical classroom can be also improved as a listening environment as well. You can reduce reverberation by making sure the classroom has carpeting, which is better than tile because sounds will bounce off the tile and make it difficult for the deaf student to hear with the carpet, while the carpet absorbs the vibration and reduces reverberation. Likewise, the classroom should also have acoustic ceiling tiles that are made with materials such as cork to also allow the absorption of sound and reduce the bouncing of sound waves. It will also be useful to have room dividers, bookshelves, wall hangings, and bulletin boards, which will also absorb sound. It is important to note that putting tennis balls under the chairs is unadvisable. You should instead place latex-free soft tips on the bottoms of chairs and tables. Tennis balls are made of latex, which can cause allergic reactions in some individuals. Also, mold can grow inside these tennis balls, so it can pose a health risk. Sports balls and materials free of latex are available from a variety of sources. Mainstream classrooms should also reduce visual distractions. Settings such as the school auditorium, cafeteria, gym, and art room should be monitored by the educational audiologist, who can then make recommendations for accommodations that enhance communication access, because these places you can't really change the setting, like putting in carpet and stuff like that. For the gym, for example, is a loud environment, so you can use other things that the audiologist recommends. The residential school, in contrast, mainly focuses on improving the visual environment of the classroom. The classroom in a residential school is usually set up in a semicircle around the teacher's desk, where the teacher is visible to every student. This will enable the deaf students to see your facial expressions and signing. Residential schools usually use smart boards, and the teachers encourage the students to participate and write on the boards. The teacher will also frequently show videos pertaining to what they are learning, and there will be captions for deaf students. The classroom areas for residential schools are more open than you can see other classrooms, which shows that the residential schools do not put much focus on the creating an improved listening environment. Instead, they focus more on a visual environment. The teacher will also signal or cue the entire class to listen before instruction or directions are given by doing such things such as flicking the lights. The residential school will allow deaf students to be at least 36 inches from the teacher, which will maximize the ability for the student to see the teacher's facial cues. Teachers should also post and refer to a visual schedule as a preview of the day's activities, as an alert to a change in the regular routine, and as a signal that there is a transition from one activity to another.